time to get geeked up.
You know, before we get into this movie too, Death to 2020, I feel like we should still kind of talk about what's going on right now. 2021 starting off with a bang. You know, before we get into the death of 2020, we can get to the horrible birth of 2021.
Yeah, kind of interrupting the fun, and honestly, for me, a little bit, just for the podcast, it kind of interrupted my fun, because we're recording, you know, on a Thursday, and of course, the mayhem that has just happened with the Capitol Hill that we'll talk about was on the Wednesday, which is normally, for myself, I would normally watch the movie the full day before, you know what I mean?
Correct.
Marinate on it a little bit. However, I got caught up watching all the mayhem yesterday, so I'm not, so I didn't watch it until today, and unfortunately, due to the content of the movie, it would have been a lot better, more enjoyable if there wasn't this huge disaster in the country that was going on and had just happened. You know what I mean? Like if I was watching this in the wake of just like, let's step forward and turn the page. Nothing but bright skies ahead in 2021. But instead of watching it like literally the day after one of the most fucking, you know, insane days in our country's history.
Senate building being overthrown for the first time since the War of 1812, you know, when the British attacked. But honestly, I think there's nothing crazier than, like, first of all, I will say, like, you know, we don't respect what the guy did, but the first nominee for Geeked Up Man of the Year is definitely dude in the horns hat sitting at the
horns hat guy giving the Hulk Hogan fucking pose-a-thon, literally like at the fucking chair seat. It was just insanity.
It was,
but
just
yeah, you're
insanity.
right. Definitely Geeked Up candidate Man of the Year with that dude. But it was like you're saying though, definite insanity. I'd say the third time now since we entered Coronaville anyway, that it was like straight out of a fucking movie, you know what I mean? Really something as you're watching the news. It had that, you know, 9/11 disaster kind of feel where you're watching something that just really the closest comparable thing for me, a complete idiot in the geeked up world, would be able to compare it to would be some fucking movie that you're watching, you know what I mean? That's just it.
No, exactly. Like, it was madness. It was absolute madness. And then also just like the open door policy they got when they were just like, come on in, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I think for me that's the craziest thing, and that's the most sad thing, and that's kind of one of the things that I disagree. You know, not disagree with you, but one of the things that that has been said a lot is this is the first time that the White House has been overthrown since the War of 1812. This was not a takeover in my book. This was a handover in my book. They gave them this opportunity. They did not take over. They did not storm the gates with this overwhelming support with the people and this overwhelming, I guess they had the overwhelming rage, but it was not this like overwhelming desire of the public to overthrow the government to protect democracy. They let these people in to stage a photo shoot for a publicity stunt for Trump to make it look that way, to like make a mockery out of the country that just voted him out. And he's got no other opportunity. He's tried to overturn it. He's literally trying to overthrow the government and using these dopes as a pawn in his way to make it look like, you know, there's a huge groundswell to overthrow the government, which isn't taking place. They had the place like dramatically understaffed for the situation that they knew was coming. Trump riled them up around the corner. They've been talking about it for weeks.
He riled them up. They've been talking about it for weeks, dude. Okay, so you know that like I am from like the Trump part of Florida. One is I saw a picture of a guy that used to be the bouncer at a bar I would go to. Definitely there, like at the Senate and all of his Trump.
He wasn't barbarian hat guy. Was he at least Confederate flag guy? Give me something I can use here. He was,
but it was just like the hypocrisy. I know I said that wrong, but it's like what hypocrites they all are. I'll put it that way. Is because, again, I see these people on social media. They're like, listen, if Biden wins, I promise you we won't be out on the streets rioting like you guys. And I was like, no? Should us be burning the Senate down? And even, dude, not even to get
the
like
law and order people fucking.
Not even to get into the characters of this movie that we're going to be reviewing. But I literally saw a girl that I know from Florida post this shit and was just like, look at half of these people right there. Like, those are Antifa, like, signs. That's Antifa people undercover as MAGA supporters, like, dressed up and, like, running it. I was like, whoa, dude. Like, the level of just
That's a great conspiracy theory. So they were Antifa people. I always wanted somebody to do that at a professional baseball game, dress up in the other team's uniform, and then disrupt the game to get a foul. What is this, fucking lady retarded? She thinks that's going to fucking happen? Is she me trying to disrupt the Eagles-Giants game? This fucking dope? Like,
And it's crazy too, because I've seen a lot of people online like that who are just like, did we loot any shops? No. Did we fucking do this? No. And it was just like, all right, there's a big difference between like the Black Lives Matters protests, where they're fucking protesting an innocent person being murdered by the cops, and the looting is, dude, if a fucking Nike window has to get broken for some justice, fucking so be it. The difference is this is just some fucking the cult leaders crybabying, being like, it's not 100%. Fair, I won't storm the gate. There's no fucking 100%. Protest.
And first of all, just in terms of the looting and the peaceful, 4 people were killed yesterday. There was 4 dead.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of a peaceful protest, 4 people have been dead. I know that they don't care about lives necessarily due to their response, due to like that crowd's response of the coronavirus, and due to the mask to fucking cowboy hat ratio that was going on. They don't have the same respect for lives that other people do, quite obviously. So the 4 people that were killed in the process, for them, does not necessarily categorize as mayhem, but for the rest of us, it definitely does. And you're 100% right in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement having a cause. And for me, I hate hypocrisy too, and I'm not going to be hypocritical about the situation, whereas I don't necessarily look at it. I don't necessarily, I am somebody, first of all, I root for chaos. Much like the Mad Dog Christopher Russo, root for chaos. So normally, like an anarchist movement for overthrowing the government, like first of all, I'm fucking all ears. Okay, you want to tell me that's going on? Like I'm fucking first open to listen. Okay, and the people like these people that think that I in some ways have a lot of I don't want to say a lot of respect, but I like appreciate where they're coming from, because they believe that this election is being stolen from them, and they believe that they're doing the right thing to try to protect America. So I don't necessarily have a problem with them as much as I do with the leaders that have lied to them and have just duped them into doing this. And that's the thing with the Black Lives Matter movement. If the Black Lives Matter protest did overthrow the White House, or today, due to the fact that they let them do this yesterday, went and overthrew every fucking state house in this entire country and fucking bashed the windows, I would be totally supportive of that. Just like I was totally supportive of the Black Lives Matter movement looting. I was somebody that said I was pro-looting on this show. I said, not even pro-peaceful. I would say fucking knock out the Macy's. Fucking make a like, who gives a fuck? Make a ruckus. Fucking destroy the fucking diamond shop. So I'm not even going to go against Like, I'm not even going to be one of these people that has, like, a sanctity, like, can you believe they went into the State House? Neo-Nazis in the State House? The last time neo-Nazis were in the State House, it was fucking Robert Byrd when the state of West Virginia voted him in for 50 fucking years, up to 2010, when he was a Ku Klux Klan member. That was in the fucking State House. And there's a fucking long list of State House members and fucking House representatives and senators that were fucking Klan members, all right? So this isn't the fucking sanctity of the White House. I don't give a fuck, man. Overthrow the government if they're fucking with us. They are not fucking with us right now. The government is lying to these people, and I hold fucking sympathy and pity for them for being fucking brainwashed rubes that believe this fucking, like, there's 62 court cases that have fucking gone against them. And they say, oh, they haven't even looked into it. There's been fucking 62 court cases that are fucking over 62 in court with fucking, like, Republican-appointed fucking judges throwing them out the window.
Exactly.
Like, it's a fucking lost cause, man. The Black Lives Matter, at least you can say, years of oppression and shit. There's an actual movement. There's no movement right now. This is just fucking total fabrication.
No,
because
chaos brainwasher,
lost, you know?
Exactly. It was just a crybaby. It's not fair. Well, have you seen that he's been banned now on all social media, Facebook and Twitter, till his presidency ends, till he's actually out of the White House? His fucking all of his social media accounts have been banned.
I woke up when I went to bed last night. He was suspended until 7 a.m. and then I literally fucking woke up and watched the movie today. Then fucking ate some oatmeal and talked to you. But so they've officially banned him from social media till his fucking presidency's over.
Correct.
Wow.
And then the other bullshit too is like Mike Pence like changed his like profile picture or like his heading to like Kamala and Joe Biden. It was like congratulations to the new president.
Well, they
and even like Mitch McConnell.
Yesterday, so.
Yeah, exactly.
And I guess that is the other thing that, like, you know, if you want to look at the bright side of the road, you know, yesterday I feel the real headline, we're bearing the lead with all the fucking hate in D.C. because the real headline was in Georgia, where Atlanta is burning and the Civil War has fucking been lost again by these dopes because fucking Georgia went blue with 2 fucking Senate seats, and now the Democrats have the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the Oval Office. and the fucking Republicans have a totally fractured fucking crazy party that, you know, outside of a few fucking lunatics, nobody can be holding their head high in that fucking party.
It's just going to be very funny to see, like, the fucking backs turning on them and their reasons why, you know what I mean? As they try to, like, scramble to save the Republican Party.
Yeah.
It's going to be, like, a lot of, like, fucking Mitch McConnell's being like, oh, that Trump was crazy. Like,
100%. They're all going to fucking turn their backs. It started with Lindsey Graham last night with his fucking, who's, like, one of the biggest fucking scumbags of all time. And then he gave one of the most hilarious speeches last night, too. I forget what he said, but he literally had me, like, laughing out loud at some of his antics. And I was like, oh, dude, like, this is such a great professional wrestling fucking heel turn where, like, the bad guy just fucking turns on his buddy. You know what I mean? Like, this is such a great move, dude. I'm fucking loving this right now. This is fucking awesome. Like, I don't care that you used to beat up Hulk Hogan. You're fucking crushing it right now. But, I mean, that guy's a total joke, though, and that only shows how phony politics is and all that kind of shit.
100%,
but
dude.
In general, I do feel that it's a great day. It was a great day for America in the long term. You know, history will show that yesterday is a seminal day for the direction of both parties. You know what I mean? The direction of one party really taking over control, in my book, for the foreseeable future, and really the end of another party as we know it. Because yesterday they might have won the battle with fucking taking over the Capitol Hill, but they fucking lost the war as a party because they fucking lost the House, the Senate, and
100%.
certified the Oval Office, and their party is fucked going forward because, you know, 4 years from now, they're not going to have either one of their last two presidents at the fucking convention.
Well,
so
again, dude,
you have Bush and Trump to show for yourselves for the last 20 years. Congratulations.
Yeah, dude, could you imagine if you would have told me fucking, like, 12 years ago that was like, look, dude, you're going to look at Bush as more of, like, a funny character than, like, the evil tyrant that he was. It was like, no, I can vote. And now you look back and it was like, hey, Bush was hilarious. You know, he was a...
I mean, you really would want to have a beer with him. He really was the president that you'd want to have a beer with. You know,
he's drinking beers with Ellen at the fucking Texans game, dude.
Yeah, no, he really is going to be. He might be welcome back by next year's convention, by the way. Like, actually, shows up in a cowboy hat, says a fucking...
Miss me?
Yeah, exactly. Give a couple of giggles, fucking say something hilariously,
you know, a big
rednecky, fucking show up eating a turkey leg or something hilarious, and fucking...
Another thing Trump was always like, he's like, I'll see you again in 2024, you know what I mean? I'll run again. I think this really, like, diminished it, too. Like, I don't think the Republican Party is going to be like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like...
I think he's going to be in jail in 2024, dude. The new state of New York's not going to let this shit go. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to be able to fucking run away from all the problems. He's caused such enemies, dude. The fucking level of hate. And he's caused, you know, real personal enemies. And do you know how good it's going to be for some politician's career, for some fucking attorney general's career, to be the one that fucking bags Trump and to be the one that gives Trump the fucking big examination and makes him look like a total asshole in the hot seat? This is fucking, they're licking their chops right now to fucking make this guy put this guy's fucking head on a stake in the public opinion, you know? And like you said, all the fucking Republicans are going to start turning on him, and fucking Republicans, you know, and again, I've been saying this the whole time, most Republicans just support their party. They voted for Trump because he's a Republican. Then they voted for him again because we've been talking about how much of a fucking douche he is. And Democrats like myself and you, for the most, you know, and again, I'm an anti-voter, for, you know, as we've talked about in the show, which is I voted twice in my life, this time in for Obama in 2008. Other than that, I'm like a vehement non-voter for the last 10 years. This is for a different podcast altogether. But I'm not like a liberal fucktard that's fucking like brainwashed by the fucking media. You know?
No,
what I mean?
we've talked about
like,
that, dude.
You know, but I don't know. In general, it's fucking. It's gonna be a different 4 years for Trump, the next 4, than it was the last 4. I'll tell you that much. Without his power in office and his fucking, you know, able to bully everybody else into respect with that power, it's gonna be dark times, and we're all gonna be loving it. So
dark times indeed. So I guess with that, though, this has been like our review of the birth of 2021.
Ooh, baby, it's time to get geeked up.